When the German capital of Berlin fell to Soviet forces on May 2, 1945, and Nazi high command signed a declaration of unconditional surrender 6 days later, Germany, as well as Austria, was split into 4 occupation zones, divided between France, the UK, the US, and the Soviet Union. Only 2.5 months later, on August 15th, the Japanese Empire also surrendered, following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Unlike Germany, however, it wasn't divided amongst the Allies. But why is that? Well, the primary reason was geographic. Germany and Austria lie at the heart of the European continent, and were easily divided amongst the encroaching French, British and American forces to the west, and the Soviet forces closing in from the east. Japan, on the other hand, was only really wedged between Soviet and American forces. But unlike in Europe, the Americans had closed in much quicker on core Japanese territories than the Soviets, who were still fighting the Japanese in Manchuria and the Kuril Islands. America's military dominance in the Pacific, along with the shock factor of the nuclear bombings, allowed the US to independently regulate the post-war occupation of Japan, giving the other allies mere consultative roles and favoring a stable, unified Japan. A strongly worded request by Soviet leader Joseph Stalin to create a Soviet occupation zone on the island of Hokkaido was flat out refused by President Truman shortly after the surrender, and American military superiority made it impossible for the Soviets to enforce their claim. Following their development of the new country as a bulwark against communism in East Asia, the US handed back power to the sovereign state of Japan in 1952, ending its 7-year occupation of the land of the rising sun. Now, as always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe and become a channel member to support the work we do.